My name is Will Powell, and I'm a former professional football player turned world traveler and entrepreneur. All of us are called to be great. Maybe we just need a little inspiration or direction, but most importantly, we need the willpower to follow through so we can stop dreaming and start doing. Hey, what's up, guys? We got another episode of Willpower, and I'm your host, Will Powell. I got my good friend Jordan Wheeler on today. We've been friends from high school. He was my quarterback in high school, actually, but he is rising to the top of the fitness industry as a professional bodybuilder. He's sponsored by Fit Flavor, Bodybuilding.com, Blue Star Nutraceuticals. He won the IFBB 2017 North American Championship. I can't believe I got that right. But Jordan Wheeler, thanks for being on the show, buddy.
Dude,
it's good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So, just had a baby, Cora.
Yeah.
Beautiful Cora.
Yep.
How's the family life?
It's different. It's a lot less restful.
Yeah.
I find myself hitting the snooze button more.
I can imagine.
But no, other than the lack of sleep, I mean, she's a bundle of joy. Mm-hmm. She's awake. She's moving around, eyes wide open.
Oh, yeah.
You know, making a bunch of different faces. But other than that, she's a pretty chill baby.
Thank God, right? Thank God for your sanity. But we'll get back into more of the family life later. So, Jordan, you know, you graduated from UNL. You know, you were pursuing a medical career, and all of a sudden, next thing I know, you're hitting the bodybuilding industry. You know, what prompted that? What made you want to take the leap into what you're doing now?
Well, I was going through the second round of applications for med school, and heart just wasn't in it. I mean, you know, you get that feeling like, yeah, you've worked so hard for this, but at the end of the day, it's not what you really want. So I put that kind of just behind me and just started working at Complete Nutrition, just a local supplement store, and started to get into like the supplement side, nutrition side. But from there, like, I focused on training and eating and, you know, experimenting with my diet. And like, just from the results that I would see, you know, I kept improving. And everyone started to say, hey, you got to do this show, this show. And I was like, no, because I don't know. And
by show, you mean bodybuilding competition, right?
Yeah. Competition. But finally I caved. I prepped, you know, all the strict meals and everything. And, you know, I loved it. Like, I hadn't competed like that since high school. And it wasn't even like a competition against others. It was just like competition from where I started to where I got, you know, how much can I improve? Nice. And so it's like, it just kept going and going, so.
And look at where you're at now, right?
From one show to the next, and after 6 shows, yeah.
I mean, so what was that initial prep like? I mean, was it a shock to your system? So let me frame it with this. Jordan has always had a spectacular frame, right? I mean, you go back to high school, he was my quarterback. Spectacular in the sense of like, you saw him and you're like, all right, dude, this dude's a specimen. You know, whether you were training a lot or not, like, you had the frame. And so I feel like bodybuilding, when I look at it hindsight, I'm like, that makes sense for him. Like, the dude's got it. He's got the genetics, but now it's the hard work, right? So what was that like prepping for your first competition? Were there nerves involved? Was there stress involved?
Yeah, so I'm a completely different person on prep because I don't get to eat as much.
Right.
So I'm not as happy.
Okay.
I like a lot of hangry bouts. But no, the first prep really wasn't that bad. I mean, I got sick of eating so much clean food. Like, the 4th meal of the day, I'd be chewing for a long time. But, you know, at each prep you learn something, and like, now it's flexible dieting for me. Even on prep, up until the last month or so, you know, I still get to eat whatever I want. It's just trying to keep it clean.
A little bit under
but
control.
I can have a cheat meal, and it's not a big deal, you know.
Well, and so let's get into more in depth about that. Like, what is, you know, outside of the cheat meal, you know, what is your typical structure leading up to an event?
Without giving too much away.
Right.
But You know, it's more or less just tracking and seeing how your body responds. So I don't really go by weight. It's more just what I see in the mirror.
Okay.
From what I ate the day before, you know, every morning, throughout the day, you know, just seeing how my body responds to foods. And usually I'll just stick with one protein source, you know, or two, I guess, chicken and eggs, you know, for a couple days. You know, and I'll switch out rices. I like jasmine rice, but like wild rice with, we've got a lot of zucchini.
Nice.
So try to get my veggies in.
It's easier said than done, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of things I want to touch on here. How important are the veggies, though? I mean, many people don't eat veggies.
Yeah. And they think they can get it with a drink. I just, you know, I mean, you got to have them. Like, you can have foods that have fiber and whatnot, but like the vegetables, it's just a good detox, I would say. So like you know, all the salad diets and stuff, people lose a lot of weight right away. Well, it's because the carbs that they're getting are pretty much fiber. Right. You know, so they're burning.
Just cleaning out their system.
Yeah.
Yeah, keeping it smooth. So then, you know, for the proteins, what's your favorite protein to stay on, and what do you recommend? It's, you know, chicken, eggs, fish. How often do you dabble in fish?
Right now, probably chicken, just because that fit flavor. Like, you eat so much, I don't know, some seasoned chicken or whatever with the salt and stuff like that. But like, they're all low sodium, so you can just sprinkle it on, not have to worry about it.
Nice.
And it tastes amazing. So I've just been on a chicken kick for probably a good 2 weeks now. Which is something I couldn't do either. I mean, like, it makes it easy. Like, I put it on eggs. Like, I have eggs every morning and every night. And it just tastes good on everything. So it's like, that's what I eat. It's just the chicken and eggs, and, you know, I'll mix in rice cakes, you know, all the carbs and whatnot. I still have my cereal. So now, calories. Do you have like you said you don't weigh food, but is there like a target calorie mark you're trying to hit versus, you know, output versus input? Currently I'm not tracking any calories. But typically, like prep, I'll track, you know, protein, fats, carbs, which will calculate your calories, you know, and excuse me.
It's all good.
Diet Pepsi got me. But those will fluctuate week to week, you know, based on how I'm responding. Right.
So I just want to tackle some trends. So one, intermittent fasting. What's your opinion on intermittent fasting? Is it legit? I hear all these famous people doing intermittent fasting, which means you eat for a certain short time allotted time every day. So, you know, whether it be 12 p.m. to 6 p.m., you can eat whatever you want, but outside of that time, you know, you're going on a 14, 16-hour fast. So what's your opinion of intermittent fasting?
You know, I kind of dabbled with it, and I liked it. I would still have breakfast when I woke up, so technically wasn't fasting for the rest of the day, but I would have a big breakfast, probably close to 600-700 calories.
Really?
Yeah. And then...
I mean... Yeah. Start your day.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a little bigger than normal, but then I would hardly eat. I would have a protein shake or a protein bar. You know, and then I would lift in the afternoon. I'd have my post-workout shake, and then an hour and a half later is when I would start eating, and I would just eat.
Really? Interesting.
But, I mean, I liked it just because it's really hard to overeat, and you stay pretty lean on it. Hard to build muscle, but you're staying lean.
And if there's one nutrition tip you could give to someone who just wants to be lean and gain muscle, what would that be? In the diet, let's say.
Write down 5 clean carb sources that are your favorites. Write down 5 protein sources that are clean. And 5 fat sources. Only buy that.
Really?
And only eat that for 2 weeks. Just to see what the difference is. Because it's crazy. People don't realize how much processed food they're eating.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It's pretty easy to spend $10 at Mickey D's on value items and stuff.
Real easy.
You know? Come out with a bag full of stuff. You know, but...
A couple of Big Macs.
I mean, it's even just 1 or 2 of those a week. That's 2,000 calories. 1,000 calories a burger. I don't know. But, like that's just 2,000 calories of shit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Sorry,
literally,
I don't know
literally.
I don't know if I can swear on this.
No,
but
you
like
absolutely can. You absolutely
like,
can. No, I'm like the biggest, you know, my family eats fast food and my friends eat fast food. I'm like, stop eating that shit.
It's tough not to. It's always there.
It is,
you
but
know?
it's
And
like,
it's cheap.
yeah, that's the issue. I mean, that's a whole other epidemic we could talk about just in America in general.
I wish people would realize like how cheap protein can really be. Like eggs are pretty cheap. Egg whites are pretty cheap.
Super cheap.
You know, even chicken, if you buy it in bulk, cheap.
Right.
Carbs are even cheaper. I mean, you can get a bag of rice for $3. That's like the next 2 weeks. Well, yeah.
Well, and so what's your opinion on red meat in general? Like, do you not mess with red meat?
I actually tried the vegan diet for a while, or vegan-like diet. I still had chicken and eggs. Really tough to meet your protein without red meat.
Interesting.
I mean, well, if you don't eat chicken or eggs.
Right.
But I just started cutting it out slowly. After a while, I could tell like my body wasn't recovering right. So that was about the 3-week mark. So then I just had 1 meal a week. Just a nice burger and fries.
Nice. Now, when you're in training and you get that cheat meal, what does that cheat meal usually consist of? Burger and fries, a big pizza?
Yeah, one of those two.
One of those two?
Yeah. I mean, it really just depends. I can be craving anything. Right now, Idaho nachos from Granite City.
Oh, those are fire.
Yeah.
Idaho nachos, for those who don't know, it's simply waffle fries.
It's 1,400 calories of goodness.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Should we go get one after this?
Well, yeah, waffle fries, cheese.
Give me all that.
Ground beef, peppers.
Well, and like, how much are you just looking forward to that? Like, is that something where you're just like, I want to get to Saturday night where I can just get this cheat meal? Or is it not that bad, you know?
No, just because like, if I want something that bad, I'll eat it.
Sure.
You know, it's motivation for me to work harder, but it's also like a reset for my mind. Like, then this Saturday, I'm not going to binge out.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll just keep it clean because I already satisfied the sweet tooth or whatever.
Well, and is that the secret? It's that give and take. Like, listen, if I'm clean this week, I get to reward myself. Moderation, right?
Yeah, that's all it is. Like, yeah, you give a little macros this week, you take a little next week. You know, or usually it's the same day or next day. But yeah, I mean, you could eat whatever you want, just keep it to the right portions.
Yeah. Well, and I think that people underestimate the amount of willpower and discipline that bodybuilders have. You know, they think that, you know, you guys are so naturally gifted, you're taking whatever supplements and that you're just exploding, but it's like the routine that you guys follow.
I mean, my first thing is just, would you be able to go 2 years without drinking? What's the majority of America gonna say?
Yeah,
like,
no way.
Yeah. I mean, there's no appetite for it. So I haven't drank in like 2 years.
I'm not really into drinking either anymore. You know, for me, it was one of those things. I got done with college, and
I just focused.
I'm just locked in, and like I used to have really bad heartburn and acid reflux. Don't get that at all anymore.
Yeah.
And it's just, for me, I don't drink because I'm not a fan of the night in general. I go to bed early, I wake up super early, and like for me to do that to my body, go and get wasted, and the next day is just
my
ruined.
body can't take it.
It can't take it.
No.
I can't. I know. And now 2 years, like your body definitely
4 drinks and I'm
done.
Count me out. Yeah.
Can't work out for 3 days. You know, I mean, and well, for you, it's your way of life. It's the way you make money. I mean, your body is on the line, and if you're drinking, talk about what drinking does to your body in general for anybody.
I mean,
dehydration.
Yeah, that's going to be the first thing. Like, that's why you get that headache, you know, that massive hangover in the morning. Pretty much going to lower your motivation. You're going to make poor decisions. So, I mean, you could end up getting yourself hurt, getting in a bar fight, doing whatever.
Right.
You know, and have you ever tried working out hungover?
It's miserable.
Oh,
Hate it.
Just, yeah. You're just putting your body through more stress.
Right. It's just depleting even more.
Yeah, because you're probably not drinking water.
Yeah. Hopefully you are.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just like, it's one of those things. You work the whole week for something, and then you just knock it down with that. Mm-hmm. And, well, you could be building it up, too, depending on what you eat.
Oh, yeah, right?
Yeah, but I can't even remember how many pizzas I had after 12 a.m.
Yeah, just unnecessary calories.
Yeah.
Unnecessary.
College days, though. But
those were the days. We were young, and we had the metabolisms at that point in our lives to get away with it. You know?
burn whatever.
So, so shifting gears a little bit into training. How many days per week do you work out? I mean, let's say you're prepping for a competition.
Every day.
Every day. 7 days a week.
Yeah, like, I know it's good to take an off day. I should take an off day. Mentally, I just can't.
Really?
Yeah. So, like, if I'm, like, granted, I'll miss a day here and there, like traveling and whatnot. But if it's like 2 days, I'm like, I'm edgy.
Really?
3 days and I'm almost in tears. I need to go. Like, I get
it's just
sad.
a part of you. You love it that
Yeah.
much. And so for you, is it a release? You know, like you feel like, you know, you talk about flow states when you're in the gym. Is that your flow state?
Yeah, I'm zoned. Just all I can feel, like my eyes are closed half the time I'm lifting. So I'm up here today doing shoulder flies like this. Just eyes closed, just straight, head straight ahead. I don't know what people are thinking, but it doesn't matter because all I can feel are my shoulders. You know?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but I can imagine.
Well, you know, like just lifting and like really just focusing on that form, like it's like that for an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and is that the secret for you and bodybuilders in general? I mean, it's isolation, muscle isolation, right? I mean, that's where the magic happens.
Yeah. So like, I don't know, isolation training is good. Like obviously your compound movements, your squat, bench, deadlift, you know, those are going to add mass,
right?
You know, just overall size. The isolation is going to be when you need to define a certain muscle group. So, I mean, you work on shoulders, they get a little bit wider, you know, you isolate your chest, that stands out. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just stuff like that, that you just need to incorporate all into one. Mm-hmm. So it's not just isolation or just the compound Olympic lifts.
How important is it, the control of it, right? So like, are you doing a lot of resistance stuff, slow stuff? I mean, people I don't think understand the how much that control and the pace matters. And that'll actually lead into our next conversation of posing, but go ahead.
Yeah, so like for the resisting thing, I was like giving the example, so just act like you have 5-pound dumbbells in your hand, you know, and you have to flex the entire time that you're moving them. Mm-hmm. So your biceps should be flexed the entire time. You know, you see people doing this. Mm-hmm. What are they doing? I don't know what you're doing, bro. I mean, you know, you're swinging from your shoulder. It's not doing anything. Yeah. You're flexing here and then you're dropping it.
Right.
So and that goes with every movement. You're doing a lat pull down. You don't want to pull with your arms. You want to pull with your lats.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. So you watch me do lat pull down. I'm going to go like this first. Like I'm pulling with this muscle right here only. Uh-huh.
And that leads into posing. So you teach posing. So if you want to touch on that, we absolutely can. And then, you know, people, myself included, have no idea how difficult it is, right? I mean, like, you stand in front of a mirror and every muscle's engaged.
No idea.
No idea. So let's talk about it. Like, I have no idea.
Yeah, so like posing, even just for like 60 seconds, like it takes the wind out of you. Like you're in a constant flex. Your abs are always tight. You know, if you're standing, your legs are flexed at all times. You know, everything is tensed. So when you're trying to make your movements, you're trying to make them smooth, you know, but still flex at the same time.
Yeah.
And with the shallow breaths, I mean, it gasses you.
Quite literally.
But like even just holding a pose for like, when I practice, I'll hold poses 5 to 10 seconds, you know. Sometimes longer if I really struggle, or just need the practice. But just holding them, you know, with minimal movement, you know, from your abs and whatnot, it's like you're just like counting down the stopwatch.
Yeah. Not to mention trying to keep a straight face, right? Like how do you...
Yeah, I mean, you're always smiling. But I mean, for me, I don't know. Once I get on stage, I just smile.
Yeah.
You know? Like you just see the lights and it's like, I'm fucking here.
Yeah.
Like, this is my time.
Feeling yourself.
Yeah. So I mean, that part isn't too bad. But like just the holding the poses and transitioning, everything's smooth, you know. You're dehydrated on stage, you know, for a show. And so like just making sure your foot placement is perfect, so you're able to turn and twist and whatnot. It's just like your joints are going to be achy. So like if I always go like down to a knee or whatever, you know, so like getting out of that, it's going to hurt. But just like it's those things that you practice that you just know. Right. Okay, here we go. You know. I'll cut water like 6 or 7 p.m. the night before a show.
Okay.
So no liquids, nothing. Like you can rinse your mouth out and that's it.
Okay.
And then I'll have like 4 ounces of black coffee with breakfast.
Why black coffee? The caffeine?
Yeah, diuretic.
Yeah.
So it just helps to flush anything else. And
you said 4 cups?
No. 4 ounces.
Oh, 4 ounces? I was like,
4 cups.
This dude just hopped up on stage.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I want what he has.
So 4 ounces of coffee, sorry.
Yeah. So that's pretty much.
Or
Oh, yeah. Pancakes, eggs, sausage, bacon.
That doesn't.
Hash browns.
For a competition at what time of the day? Afternoon?
So, let's see. I had breakfast at like 6. I didn't go on stage till 12:30.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's plenty of time for it to settle and everything, so you're not like distended and whatnot. But yeah, good breakfast. But then it's just like no water till maybe a little bit before, just sips of water. You know.
Jordan leads online training. He does meal plans. He has workout plans for over 100 people now, right?
Yeah, give or take.
Give or take. A lot of people. So if you need a workout plan and a meal plan, literally go to him. He'll hook you up. I got friends who go to him who do, and they've lost weight. They've gotten shredded because of this guy. But yeah, I mean, what is your advice to people who are who want to become bodybuilders, I guess, would be what I would ask.
Bodybuilders? Bodybuilding's tough.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding's a lot of time just because you have to be huge, you know, so it takes so long to build that muscle. Right. But like the fitness industry, it's kind of a tough industry to get into. But there's a lot of little niches.
Yeah, niches.
Yeah. So it's like if you can find your niche, you know, there's a good chance you can succeed. If it's something that you really like, obviously you're going to put the time and effort in and you're going to make it work. You know, it's just about finding your spot. Right.
And what's the gratification you get from your job? You know, is it seeing someone lose 20 pounds?
It's seeing the results and seeing people change their lifestyles, you know, I've had clients leave because they want to do it on their own, and they can, because that's what they've learned, you know? So it's like when they're ready to go, it's like, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you did it. Congrats. Yeah. Like you can do this for the rest of your life now.
Exactly.
And you can stay in shape.
And your life's going to be better for it.
Yeah.
And, you know, as we bring this to a close, Jordan, talk about your daughter and your family and your beautiful wife, and how your daughter coming into the world has changed your outlook on life, your aspirations, how hard you work. You know, you hear a lot about, you know, these world star fighters having a baby and then they start dominating, you know, in the ring, you know. So talk about that for you and what your daughter, Cora, has meant.
Yeah, so the best day of my life, hands down. I don't know, there will never be a day that beats it. It was unreal. But yeah, I mean, things definitely changed. Like, priorities shift. You can tell in my social media, it's been kind of lacking, and it's hard to like try and post something or try and work when she's sitting right there looking all cute, waving her arms around, like, you know. So it's like that family time kind of takes away from other priorities. So things get shifted around, you know, but my goals still remain the same. Like, I'm still going to try to step on that big stage.
Oh, yeah.
You know, give it my all. It just might take a little bit longer than what I anticipated.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, you just got to roll with the changes, though. Like, that's the thing. Everyone's like, oh, you're not going to get any sleep. You're, like, telling me all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, I don't get any sleep. Cool. Big whoop.
Yeah.
That's about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I can't complain. So it's like, yeah, it's not too bad.
You're right. So again, as we bring this to a close, Jordan, you're from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. You've gone out. You're internationally known now. So what is your advice to people in Sioux Falls? Because I feel like too often people never leave here, and I feel like it limits their true potential in life. And so, just in the sense of, you know, you're not going out there gaining experience. You're not going out there and seeing the world. You're not going out there and putting yourself out there, being vulnerable. Yeah. So, you know, what is your advice to people in this area in the sense of you can go out and do anything you want? You're a bodybuilding
That's
champion. You can go do anything you want to do.
That's the thing. Like, you can. They just need to realize that. Like, you don't have to stay here. Like, if you want to go somewhere, save some money up, go. You know? Granted, you might want to think it over first. I wouldn't make any haste decisions, but, you know, there's a lot to be gained out there. There's a lot of people out there that know more than you, you know, that have done this longer than you know, and you might want to meet some of those people because they could help you forge your future.
Exactly.
You know, so it's like, if you're not going to move, at least travel and gain some experience working with different people and meeting new people. Totally.
And I didn't mean to make that come off as like, you got to get out Sioux Falls, you got to go do this. For me, it's just gaining experience.
Yeah. Right? Live life.
Yeah. Live life. And don't be stunned by this reputation that you've had your whole life. Get out of that. Go do what you really want to do. Pursue your passions. And for you, I mean, you can even talk about your mentor, Falcon, and what he's meant to you. I mean, you know, would you be the same athlete right now if it wasn't for, you know?
I probably wouldn't be competing if it wasn't for him.
Wow.
Yeah.
So give him a shout out.
Yeah. Shout out to Brandon Falcon, my coach, best friend. Yeah.
Showed you the ropes.
Yeah. He mentored. I want to say, what is it? Mr. Miyagi?
Mr. Miyagi, yeah.
Yeah.
He was your sensei.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, big shout out to him. Like, I've learned just a ton from him. But it's helped me out, not just like in training, but just in life in general.
Right.
Like, how to take on life, you know, how to be who I want to be.
No doubt. Well, you are him. I couldn't be more proud of this guy. I mean, I've been watching him afar as I was overseas, as he was doing his thing here. But this is really just a start for your career. Like, it's so exciting to watch what you've been doing, Jordan. And I appreciate you being on the show, man. So,
Thanks for having me, man.
until next time,
Yeah.
I'll see you in the gym, bro.
Yeah,
You
after you come back from Europe.
After I come back from Europe. But this is another episode
Yeah.
of Low Power with Jordan Wheeler. Until next time, my friends.